For Hearst Media Production Group, executive producers Frank Biancuzzo, Brian Kerb, and David Doyle. Executive producer of current programming, Scott Moore. Executive producer, head of post-production, Colin Penny. Funding for audio description is provided by the U.S. Department of Education. Sponsored by Evoke Entertainment Productions, LLC. A logo, Hearst Media Production Group.
$1 million in December. Want to get in on the action? Use your Pechanga Club card to play your favorite slots or table games to earn entries. Every Saturday in December, you can win up to $100,000 in cash. Over 95 cash and easy play winners every Saturday, and over 145 winners at the finale night on December 27th. Your chance to win big has never been better. Only at Pechanga Resort Casino. Visit pechanga.com for full details.
Now at 7 a.m. on Today in LA Weekend, windows blown out, signs pulled off of buildings. A Christmas Day tornado is leaving a trail of damage in Boyle Heights. We are live with the aftermath and how neighbors are responding. Plus, 2 people are now in the hospital after an avalanche at Mammoth Mountain. The latest from the resort and the dangerous work the duo was completing when this all happened. And we're seeing the impact of the storm and severe weather along the East Coast for our holiday travelers. The latest on the delays and cancellations across the nation.
You're watching NBC4. Here's what's happening today in LA.
Good morning. It's Saturday, December 27th. Here's a live look over Mount Wilson this morning. A much drier start to your weekend compared to the last few days. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm Camila Rambaldi in for Michelle Valles. Let's get the morning started with a check of your weekend forecast. Here's meteorologist Belen De Leon.
Hi, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful week, that you stayed safe with all of that rain. We are drying out as we step into the weekend. That storm is gone. Now, I know the temperatures this morning are on the chilly side. And as we look at the afternoon, we'll have plenty of sunshine. That's going to help. But our numbers are going to be below normal for this time of year. We're going to have 50s at the coast where there will be high surf. 60s for the Basin Orange County, the valleys, the IE, the deserts, 54, and in the mountains, 39. And what happens after a storm rolls through, it really helps our air quality. So we're going to have great air quality all around the area. But of course, all of that runoff is causing some unhealthy water quality near the coast. So you want to stay out of the water, out of the ocean. Now, coming up, I'm going to talk about our next chance for rain because I can already see it in that first alert forecast. Details coming up.
Captured on video, take a look at this. A Christmas Day tornado swept through Boyle Heights. The National Weather Service traveled to East LA yesterday to investigate and confirm. And yes, indeed, this was a tornado. NBC4's Brittany Hope is live in Boyle Heights this morning. And Brittany, there's a good amount of damage in that neighborhood from this.
Hey, Camilla, good morning. A lot of that damage here in this strip mall. So we're on the corner of Whittier and Loretta. Actually, this morning, LADWP is out here with us, too, filling up this parking lot, fixing those power lines that are high above in the sky that were right in the path of that tornado. So, yes, we watched it all kind of blow in here, blow through the parking lot, and then into this restaurant. Take a look. This is Mariscos Tampico. You can see the wood on the bottom of those windows. Luckily, it looks like they already got them repaired. But hey, we saw those windows get blown out when that tornado came rolling in. The restaurant surveillance cameras were rolling Christmas morning when all of a sudden you're going to see it get really windy. Those gusts get stronger. You see bits of trash and debris start blowing around. Then all of a sudden, a huge sign slams into the restaurant, shattering the windows. The tornado activity lasts about 20 seconds in this clip before it moves on. And the son of the couple who owns the restaurant says he is in total disbelief.
I was so glad that, of course, that they're not injured. Especially, too, since they had just opened up, no one was inside. So luckily, no one was sitting down, no one got injured. You don't even know what to think. It's a tornado in LA.
That was my reaction too. So another angle of the tornado from the perspective of a nearby gas station across the street. You can see the powerful winds pushing debris into the sky as it moves north across Lorena Street. So back out here live, you guys, the good news is that no one was hurt in this. The National Weather Service says this got the weakest rating of a tornado that you can get. So it was a quarter-mile long. It was 90 feet wide, but it brought 80-mile-per-hour wind. So still really, really significant for us. Coming up at 7:30, it's not just businesses, you guys, that got damaged. There's also a lot of houses too. So we're going to take you to one nearby neighborhood.
Yeah, powerful winds indeed. And Brittany, a tornado in LA, that's a big headline. How often does that actually happen?
So I'm not going to say often, but it definitely has happened. So earlier this year in March, we were covering a tornado that happened in Pico Rivera. So it's definitely happened, but it's not an everyday thing here in LA. And coming up in just a bit, Belinda's going to have more on this tornado as well. Certainly a significant story for us this holiday week.
All right, so glad everyone is safe. Brittany, thank you so much. To Lancaster now, LA County Sheriff's deputies are investigating what appears to be the first storm-related death in our area. Yesterday morning, the fire department recovered the body of a man inside a Toyota sedan that you just saw that was partially submerged in the water there. This happened near 58th Street East and Avenue H10. Deputies say the car was not visible from the roadway due to the terrain and flooding from the storm. Two ski patrollers are in the hospital after an avalanche at Mammoth Mountain. The slide happened yesterday morning, suspending operations there at the resort. Mammoth received more than 5 feet of snow since Christmas Eve. Crews were performing avalanche mitigation work when the slide happened, and that includes strategic tests that sometimes trigger slides to make the mountain safer for skiers. Mammoth resort officials say their patrols were doing just that when the snow released unexpectedly.
We saw over 50 inches of snow here in Mammoth over the last 3 days. And anytime it's snowing that hard and that much snow in that short amount of time, the avalanches become very likely. We're at high danger right now today and have been for the last 2 days.
One ski patroller was seriously injured while the other is dealing with possible broken bones. The avalanche threat still remains high, and the resort will only reopen when it is safe to do so. And make sure to download the NBCLA app and stay connected during the storm. You can scan the QR code there that's on your screen, and that will give you access to our First Alert radar network. You can track live radar and find out when the wet weather will be in your area.
Hi, everyone. I want to talk briefly about that tornado on Christmas morning. You may have heard, it's confirmed. EF0 is what the National Weather Service ranked it after they did their survey on all the damage report. This was in Boyle Heights that Christmas morning with peak winds at 80 miles per hour. The length, the path, about a quarter of a mile, and it was 30 yards wide. So it is rare to see tornadoes in Southern California, but not uncommon. Previous to this one in Boyle Heights, we had one earlier this year in Pico Rivera. That was also an EF0. And then one in February in Oxnard. Prior to that, in 2023, we had one in Cerritos, Carpinteria, and Montebello. That one was a little bit stronger. It was an EF1. Well, the weather, thankfully, is calming down as we head into the weekend. The sunshine's returning. Here's your weekend forecast. The temperatures are going to be cool, so hang on to a sweater or a jacket. But it is fantastic to step outdoors. We're going to have numbers in the 60s for the coast, but got to remember that after a storm, all of that runoff goes into the water in the ocean. You should stay out. It's not healthy for you. The weather for the Basin Orange County, 59 for today. Sunday, 65. The Valley's in the IE 50s. So Saturday is going to be the cooler day. Sunday, 62. And in the mountains, the temperatures are going to be in the 30s. Now, stick around. I'm going to talk about that next chance for rain. You may need an umbrella as you're ringing in the new year. Details ahead.
And still ahead on Today in LA Weekend, while the rain may have moved out, the threat still lingers for people in our burn scar area. The evacuation warning that remains in place coming up. And hundreds of flights are delayed or canceled across the nation this morning after severe weather across from coast to coast. But first, after the break.